What if the first true sign of dementia wasn't memory loss, but a strange little question? A soft, odd sentence that slips out like a whisper from the brain, and disappears before anyone knows what it meant. You're sitting with someone you love. It's quiet. Everything feels normal. Then they suddenly ask, "Where am I supposed to be right now?" You smile. Maybe you tease them gently. But deep down, you feel it, something isn't quite right. That's not forgetfulness. That's something deeper. Because dementia doesn't always arrive with flashing lights. Sometimes, it shows up in disguise, hidden in harmless-sounding moments. These odd questions. They're like hairline cracks in glass. You don't notice them at first, until the whole thing starts to shatter. Brain, if you're over 60, or you care for someone who is, you need to hear this. Because by the time memory loss is obvious, the damage has already been happening for years. Speech balloon. Has anyone in your life ever asked something that made you stop and think, "Wait, where did that come from?" That moment, the one you almost dismissed, might have been the first sign. Because what you don't notice today, might become the thing you wish you had caught years earlier. This video will walk you through 9 of these strange questions. Not random. Not meaningless. But powerful clues that something inside the brain may be shifting. Locked with key, and right around the middle of this video, I'll reveal one of the most unusual, most misunderstood early warning signs of dementia. It's the one I wish more doctors would talk about, and once you understand it, you'll never ignore it again. Directed. If you find value in this kind of content, please like this video, subscribe to Living Well Daily, and share it with someone you care about. This is a small channel, built for real people. And your support helps me keep creating honest, helpful videos that protect and empower seniors everywhere. Now let's get started, and take a closer look at the very first strange question that could mean everything. 1. Where am I supposed to be, right now? This might sound like someone joking, but it's not. When seniors begin asking this in calm, ordinary moments, sitting on the couch, folding laundry, walking through the kitchen, it may mean the brain is starting to lose its grip, not on space, but on time. See, the hippocampus is like your brain's internal calendar and clock. When it starts to misfire, a person can feel like they're floating, no longer anchored to the moment. They might be at home, but feel like they missed something important, or should be elsewhere. It's not just forgetfulness. It's a break in temporal orientation, the ability to know where you are, in time, not just in place. This is one of the earliest signs of cognitive change, and it usually shows up in moments when there's no stress, no confusion. Just a quiet, bizarre question that feels off. Brain quick tip: if this happens more than once a week, take note. Write it down. It could be the earliest red flag. Backhand index pointing right. And if you've ever heard someone ask this, you'll want to stick around, because the next question reveals a silent battle happening inside the brain, between memory and awareness. 2. Did I already ask you that? Now this one might seem harmless, we all forget things now and then. But what makes this question special is that it reflects a flicker of self-awareness. The person asking it is trying to catch their own mistake, which means they know something's off. But they can't quite stop it. This is called a metamemory lapse. It's the mind trying to monitor itself, and struggling. Imagine your brain as a security guard, but it keeps missing the same blind spot. That's what's happening here. These repeated questions, mixed with a nervous laugh, or a little frustration, reveal that the memory system is no longer working automatically. It's pausing, hiccuping, looping. And here's the thing, people often hide this. They cover it up with humor. But deep inside, they're scared. They feel the crack forming. Brain, what you can do, don't dismiss it. Don't laugh it off. Gently ask if they've noticed it happening more often. This opens the door to deeper conversations. Backhand index pointing right. In the next section, we explore something even more mysterious, when a person starts to feel mentally empty. Almost like their thoughts won't load. And the cause may surprise you. 3. Why does my head feel empty? This one gives me chills, because it often appears years before any diagnosis. A person may stop mid-sentence and say, my head feels empty. Not dizzy. Not tired. Just blank. This points to early-stage breakdown of working memory. That's your brain's scratch pad, the place where thoughts are held, juggled, organized in real time. When that system falters, it feels like someone turned off the lights upstairs. Imagine standing in a room where you know you came to grab something, but all you hear is silence. That's the emptiness. This isn't the same as zoning out. It's deeper. And if it happens repeatedly, especially during conversation or routine tasks, it's a clue you can't ignore. Brain help tip: encourage brain activity that strengthens working memory, puzzles, memory games, storytelling. The earlier, the better. Backhand index pointing right. But what happens when someone starts noticing they're acting off? Noticing that you're noticing them? That's next, and it's one of the most subtle, emotional signs of all. 4. Am I acting strange today? Now imagine this. Someone you love leans in and asks, softly, am I acting weird today? You're looking at me funny. This isn't paranoia. It's self-monitoring. And when someone starts questioning their own behavior, it often means they sense the shift before anyone else does. They're checking the mirror inside their mind, and what they see feels unfamiliar. Research shows this kind of question usually appears when the brain's frontal lobe, the region that checks behavior and filters reactions, starts to weaken. Here's the heartbreak: they still have just enough awareness to know something's slipping. And they're scared. Brain, what helps? Respond gently. Don't brush it off. Tell them, you seem fine, but thank you for asking. Let's keep an eye on things together. That small reassurance goes a long way. Backhand index pointing right. And now, let's move from behavior to action. Because in the next part, we'll talk about something deeply disturbing: forgetting what you're doing while you're doing it. 5. Is it normal to forget what you're doing while you're doing it? This question might sound like a slip of attention. But it's actually a powerful early clue. Picture this: you're washing dishes, the sponge in your hand, the water running. Then suddenly, everything stops. You're staring at the plate, but your mind is blank. You don't remember what step comes next. You're not lost. You're paused. Stuck mid-thought. This is called task disassociation. And it's one of the first signs that your brain's action memory system, the ability to carry out multi-step tasks, is breaking down. Most of the time, we operate on autopilot. We don't think about tying our shoes, brushing our teeth, or pouring a cup of coffee. But when the brain can't keep that sequence running smoothly, it's like your mental gears just stop turning. Some seniors might freeze while putting on socks. Others may walk into the kitchen and forget why they're there, not just the purpose, but the entire train of thought. Brain, what you can do: encourage chunking, breaking tasks into smaller steps and saying them out loud. It reinforces brain circuits and keeps the action chain alive. Light bulb, try this. Narrate your actions. I'm picking up the cup. I'm pouring water. I'm setting it down. It might feel silly, but it helps rewire the process. Backhand index pointing right, but what happens when it's not just about forgetting what you're doing, but forgetting where you are, even in your own home? That's next, and it's one of the eeriest signs of early decline. 6. Did I always live here? Now this might sound strange, but imagine standing in your own kitchen, holding your favorite mug, and suddenly thinking, is this really my home? This isn't about forgetting the name of a city or a street. It's about a deep disconnection from your environment, a sense that the place you've lived in for years suddenly feels unfamiliar. This happens when parts of the brain that store autobiographical memory and spatial familiarity, like the posterior cingulate cortex, begin to misfire. The brain remembers the facts. But the emotional tie, the feeling of home, starts to loosen. You might see someone ask about the curtains they've owned for 20 years. Or question if a chair has always been in that spot. It's subtle, but powerful. Brain, what helps? Strengthen the sense of place. Display family photos, labels, and familiar objects in consistent spots. Routine can become a lifeline. Light bulb bonus tip: encourage storytelling about the home. Tell me how you decorated this room. It helps the brain reconnect history to surroundings. Backhand index pointing right, but what if this disconnection turns into something darker, like believing that someone is watching them? In the next section, we'll explore the rise of suspicion, and what the brain is really trying to say when it starts feeling threatened by shadows. 7. Do you think people are watching me? This question can be scary, not just for the person experiencing it, but for their family. It sounds like paranoia. But it's actually a glitch in pattern recognition. As some types of dementia begin to affect the visual cortex and the brain's threat detection system, the person may start seeing patterns where none exist. A flicker in the curtain becomes someone spying. A hum from the fridge sounds like a whisper. The TV feels like it's talking about them. This isn't delusion. It's misfiring perception. The brain is trying to make sense of the world, but the filters are broken. That's why these seniors often unplug electronics, close all the blinds, or whisper about being followed. They're not being dramatic, they're reacting to what their brain falsely believes is real. Brain, how to respond: stay calm. Never argue or shame. Say, that must feel scary. Let's figure it out together. And gently shift focus to something neutral, like music or nature. Speech balloon: if any of this sounds familiar, or if you've seen these moments in someone you love, drop a comment below. Sharing helps others know they're not alone. And if this video is valuable, hit that subscribe button, it keeps us going. Backhand index pointing right. Now we go deeper. What if the changes aren't just about the outside world, but the inside world? When a person starts to question themselves, their very identity. That's next. 8. Was I always like this? Imagine looking in the mirror, and not recognizing who you are, not on the outside, but on the inside. This question, was I always like this, reveals a painful shift in self-awareness. The person may cry suddenly, snap at a loved one, or laugh inappropriately. Then later, feel surprised, or even unsettled. They're not just reacting to others. They're reacting to themselves. This happens when the medial prefrontal cortex, the region of the brain responsible for identity and emotional regulation, starts to break down. They're aware enough to know they're changing, but powerless to stop it. And that's terrifying. Brain, what you can do: keep a journal of emotional shifts. If personality changes happen frequently, talk to a neurologist. Don't dismiss it as just aging. Light bulb connection tip: remind them who they are. You've always been thoughtful. You've always been strong. Anchor their identity through compassion. Backhand index pointing right, and now we reach the final question, one that seems small, but shatters the very core of connection. It's about memory, yes, but more importantly, shared memory. Let's go there now. 9. Are you sure that happened? You show them a photo. A birthday. A beach trip. A family dinner. They look at it and say, "Are you sure that happened?" It's not defiance. It's confusion, real, raw, and heartbreaking. This is the breakdown of episodic memory, the kind of memory that ties together emotions, places, and time. When it falters, people may remember a person's name, but not the moment they laughed together. It's as if the memory is a movie, but the emotional soundtrack has been erased. And without that soundtrack, even the most beautiful moments feel like someone else's life. Brain, what helps: create memory bridges, use smells, music, touch, and context to deepen recall. The more senses you involve, the stronger the connection. Light bulb tip: recreate joyful moments. Bake the same cookies. Play the same song. Bring back the feelings, not just the facts. Conclusion: story-driven wrap-up with hope and practical takeaways. So what do these 9 strange questions mean? They're not nonsense. They're not just aging. They're signals. Gentle taps on the glass, telling us the brain is struggling, long before it breaks. And here's the most important truth: you have more power than you think. Early detection gives you time. Time to act. Time to protect. Time to slow the tide. Memory loss isn't about forgetting. It's about losing self. But with the right steps, we can help preserve that self a little longer. Here are a few key lessons you can take away today. Brain first: listen more closely. Sometimes, the oddest questions are the loudest warnings. Brain second: keep a journal. Track patterns, emotional shifts, repeated phrases. It helps both doctors and caregivers. Brain third: create an enriched environment. Familiar routines, meaningful conversation, physical movement, music, and sensory cues, all can help stimulate cognitive resilience. Brain fourth: stay socially and emotionally connected. Loneliness is not just sad, it's toxic for the brain. Brain and finally, don't wait to take action. Small changes in lifestyle, nutrition, sleep, hydration, brain games, laughter, make a huge difference over time. If you're watching this and feel even a little worried about yourself or someone you love, don't panic. But do pay attention. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to start noticing the questions. Speech balloon. And if this video helped you in any way, please take a moment to like and share it with someone who might need it. You never know whose life you might help change today. Direct hit. And if you want more tools, more support, and more ways to protect your mind and body after 60, hit that subscribe button right now, and join our growing community here at Living Well Daily. Together, we'll uncover the truth, share real solutions, and help seniors everywhere live longer, sharper, more joyful lives. Backhand index pointing right. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your mind, take care of each other, and keep living well, every single day.